If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Hey, I'm back, and it's still November 21st, Wednesday, and it's 7:52 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I did upload a Q video earlier today, and I told you that I would be back with some Q-related news, and here I am. So, let's get into it. There's a lot of it, and not only that, there's a lot of it. So anyway, let's start here, and we'll go from here, and we'll just go, and we'll go for a good amount of time, and then I'll stop because I really doubt we're going to get to it all tonight. I'm not going to do another video tonight, but I am going to get as much of this in as I can. So let's get started. And we're going out here to Twitter to see, I follow this person. Actually, here's their Twitter right here. We'll go here. Here we go. All right. Now, this is DocRock1007, says, number one, QAnon has been referencing D5 since May 10th, 2018. And remember, in the video I just uploaded, there was a new reference to D5 as it relates to December 5th. This coming December 5th, because Whitaker is going to be testifying. All sorts of things are going to be happening, so this is good, but we know that it also, because if we go back to, here, hang on here, this is the new post, and with December 5th in it, that's the post we just got finished looking at in the last video, and here is the post, excuse me, while I get a tissue, because I am starting to get a cold, which is extremely rare for me. I hardly ever get colds because I take a buttload of vitamin C every day. But anyway, fellow patriots, and this is from May 10th, and fellow patriots, what you're about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control, freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, pure evil, abuse of power that the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There is no stopping it now. D5. Now, that is where most people got the idea, including myself, that D5 was in reference to the snowball that has begun rolling. And of course, as it goes further down the hill, it picks up more and more snow, causes an avalanche. D5 is the most catastrophic level of an avalanche. Sorry, I just hit that with my foot. And so that is where that came from originally. A lot of people have also said D5 refers to D being the fourth letter of the alphabet, 45, Trump is the 45th president. Some people have also seen it as that, but now we are told another meaning for it being December 5th. So I think that it's all related. I think that, like with many things with Q, it has multiple meanings because he's talking about here the information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt abuse of power that the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There's no stopping it now. Now, I think that part of all of this coming out will be December 5th. Stay the course and trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. United we stand, worldwide, where we go one, we go all, we fight, conspiracy no more, Q. So that is where we first had the mention of D5. That's just a little extra, concerning the posts that we went over tonight. So let's go back and see what other news we can get into and trouble we can get into. Now, this is from Bill Mitchell. He says, I wonder, Huber is scheduled to testify before Congress after Thanksgiving. This week, Obama appears manic and a bit nuts while the media dredges up a year-old story on Ivanka's emails to excuse Hillary with a false equivalence. What is coming that these guys are so nervous? Now, I would like to know the same thing, because It does seem. It seems like they're nervous because they're making really stupid errors too. Like a lot of the stuff, for example, the whole false flag with the bomber guy. Come on, somebody got real lazy there because that was so. I mean, it was laughable, really, really. And I don't think they got away with it. I think that that's why they had to move it out of the news as fast as they could, because I think that most of us that have been around a minute have, can see through this stuff very easily now, very easily. And it's like as soon as it comes out, people are picking up on stuff and picking apart the narrative. That's a good thing, because we're starting to be a little bit more conscious about what we consume as viewers, because garbage in, garbage out. And it's like McDonald's seems like good food until you eat at a fine French restaurant. And then you think, oh my gosh, that is swill. Well, that is what is happening news-wise. I think that now that we're getting a taste of real media from people that are going out and doing actual reporting again, people are going, you know what, that mainstream media swill I've been eating doesn't taste so good after all. So anyway, that is all good news, and let's go on. My nose is running. I'm telling you, it gets more exercise than I do, and that's not good. I don't want a fit nose. All right, here we go. This is jaw-dropping, so hold on to your chin there just while I'm reading this. You don't want your jaw dropping. It's not an attractive look. This is jaw-dropping. The Clinton Foundation's 2017 annual report is finally online. Wow, lots to unpack, but digest this nugget. Yes, let's digest this nugget, shall we? 2015 total contributions, $182.5 million. 2016 total contributions, $135.4 million. 2017 total contributions, $22.8 million. So after she lost the presidency, seems like the Clinton Foundation donations just about dried up. Why would that be now? Why could that be? Couldn't be that she was selling things. Secrets, all sorts of classified information. Sure, that's why in 2015, and everybody thought she was going to be president. Oh, sure, she got lots of contributions, didn't she? But once they figured that that ship had sailed, well, people aren't so interested in the Clinton Foundation anymore, except to find out all the nitty-gritty of what has gone on there. But I think that's interesting. Because if, and that is a very big if, and we know that it does not engage in charitable endeavors. We know that they say they do, but pennies on the dollar go into anything productive. And so why would the fact that she's not president affect people contributing? I don't understand. Do you? I mean, if it's a legitimate charity, wouldn't donations kind of stay the same? I would think, but yeah, can't look at this stuff too logically, can you? Because then you see it's like a big monster that comes out and bites you in the face. It's very obvious. It's all very, very obvious. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now, this picture, I thought, is a very telling. Now, this, of course, having to do with the fires in California, which are anything but normal fires. I don't care what you have to say. I've had people say, oh, no, and give me a break. Really, seriously. I mean, troll somewhere else. Like, troll people that are stupid. Seriously. Because you're you trolls are extremely transparent. I can see through it a mile away. Anyway, Thankfully, we don't have a lot of those people, but we do have some. And anyway, these fires, this is a picture, and look at this. This house has been burnt to the ground, and the trees look barely singed around it. Now, please explain that to me. Please explain how a house can burn that hot where there is nothing but ashes and the trees not burned down. Please explain that to me, somebody. I'm just saying. Now, let's take a look at this. I can't remember what this is, but I'm sure it will be some interesting tidbit that you'll want to know. Or maybe not. Yes, it is. And you will want to know this. Look at this. Paradise, California, November 17th, 2018. Forest fire spares the forest, yet disintegrates cars and structures. This doesn't happen naturally. No, it doesn't. Now let's look at these pictures. Look at this. Look, the lawn's still green. Like there's still shrubbery here. I love that name. I love that word, shrubbery. Shrubbery. There's shrubs and then there's shrubbery. Yeah, I don't understand this. How can these trees still be here and all the houses are gone? Everything is gone. Oh, except for the garbage can here. Excuse me. And this guy's truck was saved, apparently. Maybe he wasn't, well, I don't know. I was going to say maybe he wasn't home when the fire started, but I doubt he would come back and park his truck in a burnt out, so I don't know. But anyway, this is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Look at this. It's like they just targeted the houses but left the forest. So what is this really about? I think you and I both know. I think it's about several things. I think they want that land. I think it's about Agenda 21. It could be about the high-speed railway. I've heard that there's gold on some of this land. I don't know. But they're targeting these houses. And now, apparently, according to the weather, there's like unprecedented rain coming to that area. So you know there's going to be landslides and everything else. These poor people can't catch a break. They can't get a break. And look at this. All the houses gone. But the trees are still standing. I don't get it. It's horrific. These houses are burnt to the ground. Not everything has been consumed. Everything. It's horrific. It really is. Look at this. Unreal. Do you ever remember seeing anything like this? It looks like this was bombed, except the trees are still standing. But it just looks like something cataclysmic has happened, and indeed it has. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to think about those fires. Well, I mean, we know that they're not natural. We know that they've been caused. So anyway, let's go back. And here's something interesting as well that I think that you will want to see. I'm quite certain of it. Now, right-wing news. Ocasio-Cortez's dirty relationship with Soros has just come out in public. Well, raise your hand if you're surprised. Wait a minute. No, seriously, raise your hand. Raise your hand. No, nobody raised their hand. Nobody's surprised. Okay, America loves an underdog and a good story. The rise of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had all the markings of just such a story. The 28-year-old unknown millennial Latina from the Bronx pulled off a stunning upset in a New York City Democratic congressional primary, knocking off a prominent party veteran in her bid for public office. Ocasio-Cortez won 57.5% of the vote against Representative Joe Crowley, a 10-year Democrat in the 14th Congressional District in New York, widely seen by many as a possible successor to Rep. Nancy Pelosi for House Minority Leader was the fourth-ranked Democrat in the House. However, as with all stories, there is much more than meets the eye. It seems while Ocasio-Cortez may have been unknown to much of America, she was not exactly unknown to those with deep pockets. They never are. It turns out Ocasio-Cortez is backed by some deep and powerful pockets, including from the George Soros Media Consortium. Ocasio-Cortez previously worked as an organizer for Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign. New details have emerged revealing that George Soros helped prop up Democratic Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's political career in an attempt to put 400 Bernie Sanders-like politicians in Congress. A former organizer for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign, Ocasio-Cortez's underdog win in the Democratic Party was undoubtedly helped by online actors. Did we have any doubt? Seriously. This woman, I don't think she can tie her shoes. I really don't know if she can tie her own shoes. So I just, I can't believe that she got in without a little help. The New York Times writes that she was able to defeat her opponent who greatly outspent her due to her online presence. In an interview with progressive digital media outlet The Young Turks, a member of the Soros-funded network of far-left publications called the Media Consortium, Ocasio-Cortez also admitted that their coverage helped her win. No doubt. Members linked to Soros-funded digital media asked Ocasio-Cortez, a former organizer for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign, to run for office, guaranteeing favorable coverage by a media network that reaches almost 300 million people monthly. One member of the Soros-funded media, Cenk Uygur, also founded one of the two political groups responsible for asking Ocasio-Cortez to run, Justice Democrats, whose goal is to get Sanders-like politicians elected to Congress. Uygur, a former Armenian genocide denier, was eventually forced out of the organization after old articles revealed some of his previous sexist comments, often referring to women in a derogatory way. Incumbent Joseph Crowley, whose footprint in the Democratic establishment led to speculation that he would succeed Nancy Pelosi as Democratic leader of the House, greatly outspent Ocasio-Cortez. However, her strong online presence, thanks to the coverage of the Soros-linked digital media, she was able to gain traction and defeat Crowley in the primary June 26. She is expected to win New York's 14th congressional district handedly, given the district's Democratic history. After Ocasio-Cortez's website, Ocasio2018.com, was first registered May 3rd, 2017, it redirected to Ocasio-Cortez's now deleted page on brandnewcongress.org, according to an internet archive captured June 29th, 2017. Brand New Congress is another organization, just like Justice Democrats, that aims to get socialists elected to Congress in the 2018 midterms. It has close ties to Justice Democrats. So none of this surprises me. Yeah, I think we know she has had ample help, and I would assume not just from Soros. I would assume that there are others helping her as well, and possibly just helping her to think. So, anyway, let's go back. Now, I put this up because the news media is getting it out there that, you know, the Mexicans, well, they're not Mexicans, Hondurans, whoever they were climbing the wall and just kind of taunting the Border Patrol. Well, apparently those are that's old footage, as Donald Trump says here. He says the fake news is showing old footage of people climbing over our ocean area fence. This is what it really looks like. No climbers anymore under our administration, thank goodness. Now, I made this bigger here for you to see it. I think they're going to have a little bit of difficulty getting over that. I wouldn't put it past them because they seem able to just get through anything. But anyway, it's nice to know that that was old footage. And of course, the fake news strikes again by showing us that footage of them just taunting the guards. And of course, that was old footage. They're not apparently not doing that anymore. So good. Make it big, make it strong. All right, now we've got a whole lot of information here, and it's almost too much to get into. There's a whole lot about Haiti. Let's see, let's come down here first and get to some of this stuff. Now, this was yesterday, I do believe. Educating Liberals said today is International Men's Day. Here are some facts. 76% of suicides are men. 85% of the homeless are men. 70% of murder victims are men. 93% of workplace deaths are men. 84% of men lose custody battles. Prostate cancer is now deadlier than breast cancer. So the war on men extends far beyond what we see with our eyes happening on the news, and how they're making out masculinity to be toxic, when I really don't know how. It's ludicrous. Really, when you think about it, it just becomes stranger and stranger and stranger. But there literally is a war on men. There is. And if you doubt that, you're not paying attention. But it's sad to me, seeing these statistics. So, yeah. Not that I want more women to die and commit suicide, be homeless, be murder victims, not at all. But there really is a war on men, and I don't think that it's easy for men in this day and age. I don't. Now, I don't think it's easy for women either, but I'm just saying that men don't have it as easy as we like to think they do. When I say we, I'm talking about women in general. Now, of course, there's this whole thing about this. This makes me very, very ill, and I'm sure you've seen this in the news already. Just want to touch on it in case you haven't, because horrific. This stuff gives me nightmares. Literally, it gives me nightmares, because I don't know how anyone, especially a woman, could mutilate another woman's genitals, because it's not like having being circumcised, where you really don't interfere with the pleasure or anything of the sexual pleasure when you circumcise a child. You're not dooming them to a life of not being able to enjoy any sexual pleasure whatsoever. And there's a lot of good things, for circumcision, because it can cut down on all sorts of cancer in women as well. But also, I mean, when they mutilate the genitals of women, of course, they actually cut out the clitoris, which is when really it's like in the womb. The clitoris actually would, if the baby was to be a female, it becomes a clitoris. If it becomes a male, it becomes the penis. So it's extremely sensitive. It's like the head of a male penis. And we're all adults here, so we can talk about this. I don't understand what kind of a man, and it seems like these Muslim men want their women to be to have their genitals mutilated, because then they no longer have any sexual pleasure, and they think that it keeps them from straying or whatever. I don't get that. I don't get it. I mean, I think that Muslim men hate women. They hate women. You don't treat women like that unless there's like a really deep-seated hatred. Creeping Sharia. Judge strikes down law against female genital mutilation as unconstitutional. So this woman here, who looks like she's probably had her own genitals mutilated, because I really wasn't sure if it was a man or woman or what it was. And I'm not being mean. I'm just saying I really didn't know until I started reading. This person looks like a joke to me. It looks like somebody from a Saturday Night Live skit or something. But this woman, literally, that's what she does. She's a doctor that does female genital mutilation in America. And it's legal, apparently. Unbelievable. I mean, I remember the first time I read about female genital mutilation, and it was happening somewhere, and I was just absolutely horrified. It literally kept me awake. I thought, I can't believe this is happening to women, and they hold the young girls down, and they take dirty razor blades, and they just cut, and I mean, it's horrific. It's horrific. And to believe that this is actually happening in America blows me away. Blows me away. Where are all these women? Why don't they stand up against this? Don't know. Well, actually, yes, I do know. And so do you. So let's go back now. And here we've got this. More interesting stuff on the creepy porn lawyer. Exclusive. Michael Avenatti is accused of attacking his girlfriend, Morelli Miniuti, and dragging her around the apartment floor in her underwear while calling her an ungrateful effing bitch. That's such a nice guy. What a nice guy. Yeah. Oops, sorry, I hit it with my foot again. There wasn't an earthquake. It was my foot. Actress claims Michael Avenatti dragged her across the apartment. Michael Avenatti is accused of attacking his girlfriend and dragging her around the apartment floor while calling her an ungrateful effing bitch. Yep. Nice guy. Great guy. All right, and let me see this. This is another story that's kind of interesting. You never know what you're going to get here. It's just like a big bag of, I don't know, Timbits. You guys you guys don't have Timbits in the States. We have a place here. There's probably more Tim Hortons here than there are McDonald's in Canada, and we always call it Tim's or Timmy's, or we call it all sorts of things, but they have these little donut, well, they call them donut holes, but and they're called Timbits. But stay away from those Timbits. They're bad for you. Very bad for you. Okay, election fraud scheme on LA Skid Row got homeless to sign fake names for cigarettes and cash, DA says. Well. A forged signature swapped for $1, or sometimes a cigarette. The crude exchange played out hundreds of times on LA's Skid Row during the 2016 election cycle and again this year, prosecutors said Tuesday as they announced criminal charges against 9 people accused in a fraud scheme. Using cash and cigarettes as lures, the defendants approached homeless people on Skid Row and asked them to forge signatures on state ballot measure petitions and voter registration forms. The district attorney's office said the defendants, some of whom were scheduled to be arraigned Tuesday, faced several criminal charges, including circulating a petition with fake names, voter fraud, and registering a fictitious person. The charges were filed 3 weeks ago, but made public Tuesday following a Los Angeles Police Department crackdown on suspected election fraud on Skid Row earlier in the year. They paid individuals to sign the names. Officer Dion Joseph, the senior lead officer on Skid Row, told The Times in September, "That's an assault on our democracy." State officials said petition signature scams aren't widespread in California, but Joseph said they do pop up from time to time on Skid Row. People hired to help qualify initiatives for the ballot are often paid per signature collected, typically $1 to $2, but officials said a recent slew of proposed ballot initiatives had pushed the rate as high as $6 a signature. It is illegal for the collectors, however, to pay people for signatures. So there you go. More stuff coming out about election fraud. This, of course, in 2016. Yeah. It's everywhere. Now, let's go back. Shall we? Sure we shall. All right, now, this from Praying Medic. They dredged up an old story about Ivanka and ran it as a news story. Oh, yes, they sure did. Confirmed, Ivanka Trump did use a personal email address for official White House business into 2017, but stopped after she was informed she could not, per an admin official who was aware of emails. Officials also defends Ivanka's use versus Hillary Clinton's, says emails were not classified. Yeah, there's a big difference. Big difference. Now, let me see. I have got a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff. And let me just see. Oh, this is starred, so I guess we need to look at this. Yes, we do. Here we go. Are you ready? Here it comes. All right. I think you'll like this. Yes, I do. All right. Well, I'm sorry about this being about Pocahontas, but there you go. This is an act of sedition by Senator Warren. She's recruiting for the resistance. Antifa is the resistance. The resistance went to Tucker Carlson's home, threatening his family with pipe bombs, his wife hid in a closet. They riot, attacking, and beat people. Now, let's listen to what she has to say, shall we?
Today, I want to tell you about one group that has been helping to lead this fight by preparing us for the hard political battles that lie ahead. Resistance School. Resistance School offers free online skills-based trainings from leading experts and organizers who can teach you how to mobilize and organize most effectively. Check out Resistance School at resistanceschool.com. These tools and skills are free and online for you and for everyone else. Together, we can resist and persist. America needs you right now. Will you join us?
Now, if you didn't see that with your own eyes, would you believe it? Resistance School. Yeah. Right. And she is encouraging people to join this. Yeah, we know what they mean by resistance, and it's not anything peaceful. So, there you go. Now, I'm going to see, let me see here. Hang on one. There's a whole bunch of, and it's all, okay, let me just see this one. I think I'm going to save the Haiti stuff because I've got a lot of it, and I think I probably need to do a separate video on that because it's pretty in-depth, and I don't want to just add it to, a bunch of other things. I want it to be by itself. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But here, federal judge blocking asylum restrictions absurd and will be appealed. That from the DOJ. The Trump administration is pushing back on the decision by a federal judge in California to block asylum restrictions put in place to deal with caravans of migrants that have arrived on the U.S.-Mexican border. It is absurd that a set of advocacy groups can be found to have standing to sue to stop the entire federal government from acting so that illegal aliens can receive a government benefit to which they are not entitled. The Department of Justice, DOJ, and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, said in a joint statement on Tuesday, hours after a federal judge in San Francisco issued a month-long injunction against the policy, saying it violated federal law. Responding to lawsuits by the American Civil Liberties Union and several immigrant advocacy groups, U.S. District Judge John Teager placed a restraining order on policy that would have automatically denied asylum to migrants who entered the U.S. illegally. The president may not rewrite the immigration laws to impose a condition that Congress has expressly forbidden, Teager wrote, adding that limiting asylum seekers to ports of entry irreconcilably conflicts with the existing legislation. Thousands of migrants set out in caravans from Honduras and El Salvador in October, accumulating additional members as they passed through Guatemala and Mexico. The first of the caravans reached Tijuana last week as migrants hope to cross into California and seek both U.S. asylum and protection of the state's sanctuary laws. In response to the caravan, President Donald Trump has ordered the deployment of over 5,000 U.S. Army troops along the border and hardened the asylum policies, something the DOJ and DHS argue he has every constitutional right to do. Now, I have also seen today that President Trump has authorized the use of lethal force on the border. So that is quite astounding, really. I didn't think that that would happen. I didn't think that that would be authorized, but it has been. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think there's a lot of things that are happening right now around the country that I don't understand, including, if you'll see, a lot of the rumors are that the Army and so forth, the people in the military have been called up on domestic assignment, and I don't know. They're calling it Operation Hot Musket. There are some channels that are covering this. Marfugel is one, and I do actually like Marfugel. Just kind of a likable guy and kind of no nonsense. So I do listen to Marfugel from time to time and enjoy it, and he has had a lot of stuff about this if you want to check it out. Anyway. So, we look forward to continuing to defend the executive branch's legitimate and well-reasoned exercise of its authority to address the crisis at our southern border, both departments said on Tuesday. Government lawyers argue that the U.S. Supreme Court has already ruled in favor of Trump's authority to limit or deny entry to any foreigners, and that the administration had every right to restrict asylum applications. Our asylum system is broken and is being abused by tens of thousands of meritless claims every year, said DHS spokeswoman Katie Waldman, adding that asylum was a discretionary benefit given by the executive branch only when legal conditions are met. Tigar's injunction can be appealed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and is set to expire on December 19th. So, interesting. Don't know where all that's going to lead, but I do think that Trump has the constitutional right and the legal right to do what he has done. And I don't think that he would have done it otherwise, personally. So, I think I'm going to end it there. I've got a whole lot of other stuff to get into, but like I said, a lot of it has to do with Haiti, and to tell you the truth, I'm just not on the money enough tonight to go over Haiti, because I'm just kind of wiped out for some reason. Not sure what it is, but could be the weather, could be any number of things, but I am, and that's all right. It happens to the best of us. So I'm going to call it a night there, and I'm hoping that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. I hope you spend it with people you love, whether they be family or friends. I hope that you have a very safe Thanksgiving. Do not drink and drive. Be careful on the roads. Be careful wherever you are traveling, what have you. And I pray for your safe return to your home if you're traveling tomorrow. And I ask that when you're sitting around and enjoying your meal, that you would thank the good Lord for all of his blessings, because every good and perfect gift does come from above. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I hope that I will see you guys real soon, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.